There's something timeless about Stella Tennant, a quality that extends beyond her having been born into a noble Scottish family. As the granddaughter of the Duke and Duchess of Devonshire, you could say that she had access to an old-moneyed world. But it was something about Stella's presence that spoke to a timelessness beyond the trappings of wealth. She was aristocratic in bearing, yes, but there was a dash of rebellion in her manner that placed her somewhere between Downton Abbey and a punk rock mosh pit. In this way, she was like no other model of her day and still remains one of a kind. Welcome to our channel. And in honor of what would have been Stella Tennant's 51st birthday today, we're taking a closer look at the life and legacy of the great Stella Tennant. All the beautiful people are hiding in here. Let's start at the beginning. The youngest of 5 siblings, Stella Tennant was born in 1969 in Scotland. Her father, Andrew Cavendish, was the son of the 10th Duke of Devonshire, and her mother, the former Deborah Margaret, was the daughter of the Earl and Countess of Carnarvon. This made Stella the granddaughter of the 9th Duke and Duchess of Devonshire, better known as the Mitford family. You might be familiar with them thanks to the recent series on Netflix. Anyway, the point is, Stella was born into money, old money. Though the family's fortune was built on land speculation and investments, they were also aristocrats with deep ties to the British monarchy. For example, Stella's godfather was none other than the Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. Yet while her upbringing may have been steeped in tradition, Stella's early life was not without its challenges. When Stella was just 7 years old, her parents divorced, after which her mother remarried and moved to France with her 2 youngest children, including Stella, while the older kids stayed with their father. Though the split eventually healed, it was still painful enough to make Stella quite introverted as a child, so much so that she didn't speak much, even to her own mother. It was around this time that Stella developed a love of reading and riding horses, hobbies she would maintain throughout her life. When Stella was 14, she boarded at an all-girls school in northern France called l'Institut Villa Maria. After graduating, she attended university in Edinburgh, where she earned a bachelor's degree in art history. However, Stella had little interest in academia. Instead, she wanted to travel and see the world. And so right out of university, she did just that, working odd jobs along the way to support herself. In fact, it was during this time that she took a job as a waitress at Café Royal in London, where she caught the eye of journalist and author Lynn Yeager. Recognizing Stella's striking looks, Yeager introduced her to the stylist and writer Ariyoshi, who subsequently submitted her photos to several modeling agencies. None of them called back. But by the time Stella was 23, she was back in London and ready to try again. And this time she was signed by Storm Model Management. A year later, she would make her runway debut for the spring-summer 1993 season, and soon after would become the face of Prada's fall-winter campaign. But things hadn't really taken off yet. Stella was busy working as a horse riding instructor in Ireland when she got the call that changed everything. It was from American Vogue editor-in-chief Anna Wintour, who asked if she could fly to Ireland and photograph her for the magazine. A few days later, photographer Stephen Meisel arrived with a team and shot Stella for a spread in the September issue. That same month, she also appeared in the pages of French Elle, and it was only then that she realized that she had been bitten by the modeling bug. From there, her career skyrocketed. Stella soon found herself on the cover of British Vogue, and a year later, she was featured in the Pirelli calendar. By now, everyone was sitting up and taking notice of her somewhat androgynous beauty. And by the time she appeared on the cover of the October 1994 American Vogue, wearing a classic black Chanel suit, it was clear that the fashion industry had found itself a new darling. By the end of the 90s, Stella was everywhere, walking the runways for everyone from Yves Saint Laurent to Miu Miu. And though she was just one of many supermodels of the day, she managed to stand apart from the pack. While Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, and Cindy Crawford epitomized glamour, Stella represented something more rugged and androgynous. In fact, she was once described as looking like Mick Jagger's daughter. Now let's talk about Stella's impact on fashion. When you think of some of the most iconic supermodels of the 90s, your mind probably conjures up images of glamorous women in evening gowns, women like Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, or Cindy Crawford. But Stella Tennant wasn't just another pretty face. She carved out a unique space for herself in the fashion world through her distinctive style and androgynous look. One of the defining features of Stella's look was her nose ring, which became a symbol of rebellion against the norms of the fashion industry. At a time when supermodels were known for their glamorous and often unattainable beauty standards, Stella stood out with her unique and edgy style. Her piercing, along with her tousled blonde hair and pale skin, gave her a distinct and memorable look that set her apart from her peers. Stella's influence on fashion didn't end with her distinctive look. She was a trailblazer in breaking gender norms in a traditionally feminine industry. Stella was not afraid to experiment with androgynous fashion, and she became a muse to many designers, including Karl Lagerfeld of Chanel. Lagerfeld was fascinated by Stella and her unique style, and he often praised her for her originality and fearlessness. He once said, "I love Stella because she can be both elegant and punk rock. She is absolutely not a dumb blonde." Lagerfeld's admiration for Stella led him to make her the face of Chanel for over 15 years, cementing her status as one of the most successful models of her generation. During her time as the face of Chanel, Stella appeared in numerous ad campaigns and runway shows, becoming one of the most recognizable models of the brand's tweed suits and signature fragrance. Stella's impact on fashion was significant, and she will be remembered as a true icon of the industry. Her distinctive look and androgynous style broke gender norms and paved the way for more diversity and inclusion in fashion. Now let's get into some of Stella's most iconic campaigns. Stella Tennant graced the runway for almost every major designer, but some of her most unforgettable moments were spent walking for Chanel. In fact, she was the longest-running ambassador of the house, appearing in campaigns since 1998 and up until her death in 2020. One of Stella's most iconic moments for the brand came in 2003, when she starred in the ad campaign for the new Chanel No. 5 fragrance, alongside Catherine Deneuve and Penelope Cruz. Stella's cool and collected demeanor perfectly complemented the classic elegance of the perfume. Another unforgettable Stella moment for Chanel came in 2015, when she opened and closed the Haute Couture show wearing a stunning white gown with a dramatic black veil. This show was extra special as it was Karl Lagerfeld's last Haute Couture show for the brand, and Stella's powerful presence on the runway left a lasting impression on the audience and cemented her status as a Chanel icon. Moving on to Versace, Stella Tennant walked the runway for Gianni Versace multiple times before his untimely death in 1997. She also appeared in several of his ad campaigns, including the Spring-Summer 1996 collection, where she was featured alongside other supermodels like Naomi Campbell, Claudia Schiffer, and Christy Turlington. After Versace's death, Stella continued to work closely with the brand, appearing in their ad campaigns in 2003 and 2007. In 2011, she made a memorable appearance on the runway, paying tribute to the late Gianni Versace during the brand's fall-winter show. Stella's close relationship with the Versace family was evident, as she was invited to Donatella Versace's wedding in 2013 and served as a bridesmaid. Next up, Burberry. Stella Tennant's association with the brand dates back to 1997, when she starred in their ad campaign for the fragrance Woman. Over the years, she appeared in numerous Burberry campaigns, including the Spring-Summer 2000 collection, where she was photographed by Jürgen Teller. In 2008, Stella became the face of the new Burberry Brit fragrance and also walked the runway for the brand's fall-winter show. Her close relationship with Burberry creative director Christopher Bailey was evident as she was invited to his farewell show in 2016 and paid tribute to him on Instagram. And last but certainly not least, Alexander McQueen. Stella Tennant was a muse to the late Alexander McQueen, gracing the covers of numerous magazines during his lifetime. One of the most iconic images of Stella in McQueen's work was from his Fall-Winter 1996 Birds of a Feather collection. In this photograph, Stella is seen perched atop a tree branch, surrounded by dead birds, symbolizing the controversial environmental message of the collection. Another unforgettable moment came in 1997 when Stella walked the runway for McQueen's The Birds collection. Her white feathered gown and dramatic headpiece made her the standout star of the show. Despite her success in fashion, Stella struggled with shyness and often felt uncomfortable with the level of fame she achieved. According to her close friend, stylist Katie Grand, Stella would turn down offers to appear on chat shows and always decline to do reality TV. She simply preferred to stay out of the limelight. A sentiment echoed by photographer Nick Knight, who shared that Stella always seemed a bit uneasy with photographers around her, but when the camera stopped rolling, she was relaxed and comfortable. In 1999, Stella married French photographer David Lasnet. The couple had 4 children together and lived mainly in the French countryside. While Stella enjoyed her time as a mother, she missed modeling and returned to the runway in 2006, appearing in shows for Miu Miu, Chanel, and Yves Saint Laurent. However, her career took a downturn after the birth of her 4th child in 2011, and she ultimately retired from modeling in 2015, stating that it was simply time to move on. Following her retirement from modeling, Stella relocated to the Scottish countryside, where she threw herself into various projects, including writing, gardening, and caring for her animals. She had a particular passion for horses and dogs, often sharing pictures of them on social media. Tragically, Stella passed away in December 2020 at the age of 52, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most iconic supermodels of her generation. But her impact on the fashion world extended beyond her time on the runway, and she will be remembered as a true original. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this Stella Tennant retrospective. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments below. And check out these videos next.